Well, residents of Vicksburg, Mississippi, breathing a small sigh of relief today as the Mississippi River cresting at Vicksburg, but stopping without breaking the levee or flooding the city.
The cresting began ahead of schedule, and floodwaters are expected to hold at current levels until at least Saturday. So there is temporary relief as the rest of the region still tries to recover from the massive flooding and, of course, the damage left behind.
Yeah, that's for sure. We've been following it every day. And Republican Congressman Jeff Landry represents the 3rd District of Louisiana, joins us now from New Orleans. Congressman, are the resources in place in your district as you need them to be?
We have had a tremendous response from the Corps of Engineers. Our elected officials have done a great job of getting ahead of this flood fight. Every day I go down my laundry list of mayors and parish presidents and sheriffs and ask them, hey, are you getting the assets you need? How do you feel at this time in order to fight the flood that's coming down? And they seem to be comfortable with what's going on at the present time.
Okay, so that's good news. At least you try to make the best of a terrible situation. But I know we're in the middle of this, but is there any way at this point, given that the decision's been made about the Morganza spillway already, is there any way to grasp the economic impact of all this? Is it fair to say maybe that we've avoided the worst?
Well, you know, we certainly have had a bit of good luck with the weather over the last week. We've had some good prevailing north winds that have pushed a lot of that water out. The drought conditions in Louisiana have absorbed a lot of the water that's passing through the Morganza spillway. I'm not willing to call victory to it yet. We've got a lot of people that are in harm's way. We've got some people who are going to be impacted. Their property is going to be impacted. We've got a lot of farms and cropland that is going to be flooded. You know, I guess we're still a couple of weeks away from being able to calculate the exact impact of this flood.
You know, I'm sure you weren't directly involved in the decision-making process, but maybe you weighed in on it. But the idea to open the spillway in the first place, essentially what you're doing there, and, you know, it's all a risk reward, and you look at the population of different areas, but you're sacrificing certain areas. You mentioned the farmland that's going to be flooded to save bigger cities like New Orleans, where you're sitting today. Talk about that decision-making process. Were you on board from the beginning with that type of move? And is that a difficult decision, do you think, for people to make?
It is a very difficult decision. It's always difficult to make a decision that's going to impact people's property in a negative way. I had been on board and tried to work with the Corps to make sure that we did it in a way that gave people an opportunity to prepare. Also, you know, we sent a letter to USDA early on to ensure that they would cover the crop losses in the event that Morganza had to be open. And then once Morganza was open, USDA and FEMA did come back and allow those farmers to be able to make claims against their crop losses in those areas that are going to be impacted.
Anything else, Congressman, maybe something you need that you're not getting either from private citizens or from government agencies at this point?
No, you know, I got to tell you, we had to ask the Corps to sink a barge down in Bayou Chene in the middle of a canal, which was going to help protect Morgan City, Stevensville, and some areas in that communities in that area. And they were good enough to give us a permit in breakneck speed. The project is moving forward, and we've got our fingers crossed and hope that it's going to work.
Okay, that's good to know that people are working together on all these types of things. Congressman Jeff Landry from Louisiana. Thank you, Congressman, for coming on.
Thank you.